can cause like severe withdrawal symptoms, but why do people use it? They use it to help them in life. That's the difference between like addiction and physical dependency. But also too, like a lot of people say, oh, kratom is so addictive. For some people, it can cause severe dependency, even the natural leaf. But you have to put it in perspective. When you look at the data from John Hopkins, who they did the largest data across like a group of people besides Dr. Oliver Grumman from the University of Florida, the majority of natural kratom leaf users do not develop physical dependency. And if they do, it's typically mild to moderate, with a smaller subset being severe. That's why it's dishonest when like a lot of people say, oh, kratom's totally non-addictive. Well, they're talking about their own personal life. That doesn't represent the majority. But you also have people say, oh, it's so addictive. Well, again, they're talking about their own personal life. To get the truth, you have to look at data spread across a large group of people. But it is interesting that so there's something called an eight-factor analysis. An eight-factor analysis determines what is scheduled or not scheduled. So the DEA looked at kratom on an eight-factor analysis. The FDA did an eight-factor analysis, and also the World Health Organization. One of those eight factors is psychological and physical dependence. It doesn't mean that severe dependency can't happen, but you have to look at the big picture. Like, for example, 7-hydroxy, for example, if you take it every day, when you stop, you are 100% going to get severe withdrawal symptoms. With kratom, that's not the case. A lot of people don't. Some get mild, some get moderate, and a lot of people get none. You know, I'm in the situation where my personal opinion for my own self is that kratom is moderately addictive. Like, I should say, like a moderate dependence. Like when I don't take it, I definitely don't feel good, but you know, it's nothing compared to when I was trying to come off of Suboxone. And there's lots of people who say stopping caffeine is harder than kratom, but then there's some people who say kratom is much harder than caffeine. It not everything can fit into a box, if that makes sense.
Well, and I think that it all depends on the person, because if someone kind of has a more addictive personality where they've had issues with addiction in the past, that definitely could. I mean, you know, your brain gets wired to those kind of things. So yeah, I would say be very, very careful and be mindful of that. You know, before taking kratom. One thing I will say is I did notice a comment that said 30 grams is like a tablespoon of kratom. That is not true.
Not true
I just
at all.
wanted to clarify that in case somebody read that. So just so everybody understands, about 1 gram is about, well, 1 teaspoon is about 2.5 grams. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you're taking. So just throwing that out there. 30 grams is definitely not 1 tablespoon. It's a lot more than that.
And I realize too, a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, I'm struggling so much getting off of kratom." 9 out of 10 times, they're talking about 7-hydroxy or MGM or pseudoindoxil, and these things are not kratom whatsoever. So, oh, what's up, Kamal? I want to talk to you. You're a good dude, really good dude. Get your lives together. God bless. Follow Christ. So, I'm actually Christian. I'm as Christian as they come. And I'm so thankful in Leviticus where God said, use the plants, and their leaves will be for healing. If you don't believe in natural alternatives, then you are not a follower of Christ because you are denying God's, divine creation. That's on you. No one else.
Agreed.
7-OH is basically referred to as synthetic kratom. It's highly addictive. No, so I mean, yes, 7-OH is highly addictive, but it's not synthetic kratom. So you have to understand what kratom is. Kratom is a plant in the coffee family with over 50 different naturally occurring alkaloids that all work together. There's alkaloids that work on your serotonergic, dopaminergic, androgenergic, dopamine. Your opioid and your adenosine receptors. They all have very low binding affinities at those receptors. Kratom is like it's one plant, but all the alkaloids are working together. The main alkaloid in kratom is called metragenine, which makes up 66% of all the alkaloids found. Even if you isolate metragenine, that is no longer kratom. Just like if you take caffeine out of coffee and you have a caffeine pill, that is no longer coffee. That's a caffeine pill. Well, 7-hydroxy is actually not natural to the plant itself. It only forms post-harvest, meaning like once the plant is cut and dies, basically very, very, very minuscule amounts, typically less than 0.0100% of metragenine converts into 7-hydroxy metragenine due to oxidation. But the fact that in the dried kratom powder, there's such a minuscule amount that it actually has no pharmacological effect whatsoever. The chemically manipulated 7-hydroxy products on the market, those are chemically manipulated. They take like a metragine extract and then they use pool chemicals, the stuff to shock your pool, to chemically convert it into 7-OH. Well, that change in the seventh position from metragine to 7-hydroxymetragine radically changes its pharmacology. It is only attaching to opioid receptors, but the binding affinity is so much stronger. And also, too, there's multiple unknown substances to science in every brand of 7-OH. If you don't believe me, go to my page, scroll down, you'll see top expert drops truth bomb. I was invited to the
Yeah,
University of Florida to interview the top kratom experts in the country, and they have confirmed. The comparing them to pharmacological, the binding affinity, they're two completely different things. Completely different things.
absolutely. Yeah. And it is hard because the media messes everyone up. It is just, it is just aggravating because, well, here's an example. What happened in Utah just this last couple of weeks ago. There is, I don't know if you've heard of the new supplement called Buzzers that's out there. It's like a new supplement that's made
Yeah.
out of cat's claw. So it's a mislabeled product. And I guess people started looking into it because people were getting sick and having, and now someone in Utah has actually died from it. They
Mm-hmm.
pulled it apart, looked, and turns out MGM Grant or MGM 15 is inside
And
the cat's claw.
MGM
Okay.
Grand, the
I know. I
hotel.
almost said that MGM Grant. Is that funny? I don't know why. It always
Yeah.
reminds me MGM into that. But MGM was inside of the product. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of reporting, having the news saying, hey, attention, buzzers are out there. It's a cat's claw and MGM 15 that's in this. You need to be aware. Nope. What is the headline? Illicit kratom found in a cat's claw supplement. It's like,
Yeah.
it's MGM is not illicit kratom. It's not kratom at all. So that's what's
Yeah.
really hard is the media tends to always do it because you know what it's a buzz, it's a little catchword right now. Everything they just want to talk about kratom, and they're just going to keep calling it illicit. Um, so it's just really confusing. So I'm not blaming everybody just because it is confusing, but you need to look into every single article. And if you start seeing them mention tablets, or, you know, I took one tablet or a piece of a tablet, or you're talking 7-OH. And a lot of times it'll have that illicit kratom on the top of the headline, but then you read the article and it's 7-OH.
Well, exactly. And I think a lot of people are getting confused, and because they're like, oh, I'm taking kratom, but lo and behold, they're actually taking 7-hydroxy. It confuses treatment centers, it confuses doctors, it confuses all of those things. And it's very, very unfortunate. As soon as 7-OH hit the market, I knew it was like, oh, this is not going to be good. This is going to be really, really bad. Back in 2015, Dr. Chris McCurdy, the number one kratom researcher in the world, he wrote an article saying 7-hydroxy, a molecule of concern, where the article was saying, like, you know, the amount of 7-OH in dried kratom powder is so minuscule that it means nothing. But if someone were to isolate this, chemically manipulate this, and put it into, like a pill, that would be crazy. A lot of people don't know, but one 80 milligram tablet of 7-hydroxy has more than 5,000 times the amount of 7-OH than your typical dried kratom powder. Isn't that crazy?
Well, and I saw some little video too that said like four, now I don't know which strength it was, by the way, but four of those tablets was basically like ingesting 6 kilograms of the powder. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that really shocks me. Cause I mean,
Hey,
just one capsule
sorry.
or one little tablet.
Um, Samus the Hunter, please request up. Let's see how much information we're really spreading. So let's see. That would be great. That would be fantastic. Let's really test your kratom knowledge. I think that would be fantastic. I would not do pseudo. I would just stick to natural kratom leaf, guys.
Yeah.
Stick to
Pseudo,
natural
by the
kratom
way,
leaf.
pseudo will not be, the pseudo and doxil products will not be legal either with the DEA announcement coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll be doing that soon. Oh, wait, what did I just do? I think I messed something up. Swipe left to close. Okay. There we go. I'm just waiting for the hunter guy to come up. Go
So there's
jump
a
on
good
my birthday
question. What is
hotel.
MGM? Do you want to explain that?
So MGM is fully synthetic, so that it really has nothing to do with kratom. Yeah, just like so. For example, you have metragine, the main alkaloid in kratom. Then its metabolite is 7-hydroxymetragine. Then on your second pass, it will turn into pseudoindoxyl. Pseudoindoxyl is like 5 times stronger than 7-hydroxy. 7-hydroxy is multiple twos. I think the binding affinity is like 40 times or 50 times stronger than metragine is. But MGM is just like a lab created craziness. That's the best way I can explain it. What did you think about the National Institute of Health? How they are going to make a pharmaceutical out of metragine and use it for opioid use disorder?
I think it's great. I think again, I'm not anti-pharmaceutical. I'm really not. I think there should be, I think all the options should be out there, and I think the National Health Institute realizes the potential about what this has. And I mean, we need something other than Suboxone. As you know, Suboxone comes with its own risks. The films, especially, a lot of people are putting those. They have shown serious risks for dental decay. People have lost a lot
Hmm.
of their teeth from it, and it's nice to have another option other than Suboxone. I'm not judging anyone that's going on Suboxone because I know it's really
It
hard to
saves
get off of.
lives.
It does, absolutely. So I'm not anti that, but I'm just saying you do need to be aware that there are side effects that come with Suboxone. It can also be very addicting as well. It's just another type of an opioid, a little bit different. It doesn't attach the same way. But boy, it would be really nice to have another option out there other than a Suboxone to be able to come off of these substances.
Yeah, and I think Suboxone, yes, everything you said is 100% true. It can cause dental issues for sure. And sorry, guys, I have a speech impediment, so if I'm like stuttering, I apologize. But, I've met a lot of people that were pretty much living on the streets and they started Suboxone and they were able to get a job, get married, go
Yeah,
forward in life. And I think that's the big difference between addiction and dependency, too. Like when I took Suboxone, it made me feel like a zombie. It didn't work for me, but I'm never going to disrespect someone and be like, oh, you're not really in recovery because you take Suboxone. People say that stuff to me all the
right.
time, even though, I'm a dad, I'm a grandpa, I'm a business owner, I'm all these different things because of Kratom and being able to like live a normal life. If I made a channel where I told everyone antidepressants save my life, no one would care. Literally, no one would care.
That's true.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that their grandma's physically dependent to gabapentin. Doesn't matter their sister is physically dependent on antidepressants. All that matters is that I'm taking kratom. It can cause dependency, and it's a leaf. Like that's how brainwashed people are. It's
Well, they
literally
are.
insane.
But yet you could go into a doctor's office and they could say, well, okay, here's 3 pills that we're going to feed you. And they would take it, no questions asked. And I mean, I'm sorry, but all you have to do is take a pharmaceutical to realize there is definite side effects to these. And I mean, just gabapentin in general. I decided at one point I was I was only on it for 18 months, but I wanted to try this one physical procedure. And they said, you have to be off of gabapentin because I guess, deals with the electrical in your head or something. So I said, okay, great. How quickly can I get off? And they said, oh, 10 days. So I said, super. So I started tapering quickly. Within 4 days, I was in such severe withdrawals, I thought I was going to die. And I'm like, this isn't happening. So I went back up on gabapentin, and then I just slowly started tapering. It took me 6 months to get off of gabapentin, and even then, I still had a lot of brain zaps and random nausea that would hit me. And so this is,
Ugh,
but yet nobody tends to like blink, or
care.
everybody knows benzos have got serious withdrawals. SSRIs, they're hard to come up. I mean, it is just, and that's just what it is. So,
Hmm.
it bothers me when people say that. Well, it's addictive. Well, like I said, have you talked about any other substances you're on?
Yeah.
Hey, Laura. Hey,
I
Jordan.
Hi.
Oh, hey,
It took me, so I'm so proud of myself. Recently, I've lost 45 pounds.
wow.
Yeah, I try to get my man boobs down a little bit. But the reason I bring this up because I went like keto carnivore thing, but for the first, I failed so many times because I would get the keto flu, where you get like really bad muscle spasms, you have no energy whatsoever, and that's the withdrawal from like sugar and carbohydrates. I wouldn't put it like anywhere near like my opioid withdrawal that I went to, but I still like I was like, screw this, I'm just gonna eat some bread, you know, because I wasn't able to get through my day, but no one's gonna freaking say we need to ban sourdough. Like, it's
I
ridiculous.
love sourdough.
These people are literally ridiculous and extremely selfish. Like, the people that demonize people for using like Suboxone or Kratom or anything to improve their life are just extremely selfish people.
I have a
Extremely.
question on my live stream. What is metragenine A?
That's a great question.
I don't know
And
that.
I know it's fully synthetic. I know that's another synthetic, but I don't know how it's formed. I'll call Dr. McCurdy and ask him, and I'll
Oh,
know, because
I've not,
I don't
first
want
time
to.
I've heard of that.
I think it's another
Yeah.
gimmick. It's another gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so no, like, so someone said it's the stuff in kratom. No, that's just metragenine. Metragenine dash A is like what they're selling now, which is not natural to the plant itself. I know it's a synthetic, but I don't know how it's like made. You know.
So there's a good question. What is cat's claw? Just because we talked about buzzers, cat's claw is an actual supplement. It's an herb that's been around for centuries. I honestly have not studied it. I really should, but cat's claw in itself has not caused problems.
Psychoactive.
It's when they actually stuck it with the MGM 15. That's when you started getting the problems. And who knows what
Mm-hmm.
else is in there too. But yeah, it's not necessarily the cat's claw that's the problem. You just don't want, if you're going to ingest cat's claw, you want to make darn sure, just like with kratom, you want to make sure it's tested. It's third party lab tested. It's not adulterated. So, it's just like anything you put in your body.
Here's a rule of thumb: just don't buy any cat's claw in the smoke shops at all.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
do it.
And John, before you ever start kratom, make sure that you actually need it. Like, really think, because again, if you don't need it, like, don't take it, because it can cause dependency in some people. I mean, like I said earlier, I feel like that a lot of that's kind of overblown. But as my job as like a vendor or someone in the industry is to kind of be a gatekeeper. Kratom isn't for everyone, and I'd say half of the people that go into my store, I have trained my staff to tell them, no, you ask a series of questions, and you have to make sure that it's a right fit. Like, why would you take an antidepressant if you don't have depression? It's the same kind of concept,
Right.
So just make sure before you do anything. Kratomanswers.org is an amazing
Mm-hmm.
website to really learn like the truth about kratom. You can go to the National Institute of Drug Abuse. They have a great piece on kratom. John Hopkins, all of these people who have studied kratom, like, don't listen to the freaking Mayo Clinic. They've spent $0 on kratom, and they should stick to making freaking condiments, dude. They're terrible at what they do. Terrible. That was a bad Mayo joke. Sorry, but yeah. Okay, so let's I want to make sure um these gas station pills can be helpful to people getting off harder drugs. Natural kratom leaf was doing that for decades before.
Yeah.
100%, 100%. Misty,
Jordan.
can you let everyone know your story real quick? Just who's on?
Yeah. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I started going to pain management in 2006 because I was having migraines at the time, and I didn't slide into the addiction side of pain management until 2008 after I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease. And so from 2008 to 2019, my whole routine was go to the doctors every month. Back then, we could go to the doctors every 27 days, believe it or not, because we used to be able to get our refills 3 days early. So I would go to the doctors, go to the pharmacy, go and abuse the crap out of my pills. My monthly supply would only last me about 10 days, and then I would detox every month, and then I would go through that same revolving door. I would go to the doctors, go get my pills, abuse my pills, detox, same thing for 11 years straight. And then in April 2019, I got fired from the chronic pain clinic because I didn't show up for a per contract pill count. I was 11 pills short, and none of my drug dealers had any of the pink Oxy-10s that I needed. So while I was searching for a new pain management doctor, I started doing cocaine because my dealers had heroin. I was going to do heroin, but my dealer did not want to shoot me up. He didn't want to do that for me because I was scared. So I was like, okay, I rationalized with myself and was like, okay, I'll just snort some cocaine because I was already snorting my pain pills anyway. And then I was smoking the pills off aluminum foil. And so, in June of 2019 was when I watched that documentary, A Leaf of Faith. It was on Netflix at the time. And the next day was when I went into the smoke shop and bought whole leaf kratom. You know, that's how come I'm on the fence with people when they say, oh, it shouldn't be available in smoke shops and gas stations, all that stuff. But that's how my life started, was walking into a smoke shop and starting whole leaf kratom. That's how my kratom journey began. You know, and to see what the 708 dipshits have done within these past couple years, they've pretty much erased all of kratom advocacy, all of the kratom legislation, all because they wanted to come in and make a quick buck and call their 708 products kratom. They did that to skirt the law. They knew what they were doing was, excuse my language, Laura, fucked up.
Yeah.
They knew it. But they
the
did
false
that so that they
marketing.
could capitalize on it.
Well, and then they also did it to specifically addict people. It's a cash cow. I mean,
Yeah.
people walk in, you think about it. In fact, I was just talking to, we have an advocate in Massachusetts. She's wonderful and she has a really good relationship with her smoke shop guy and talks to him all the time. And he says, yeah, he says, I was selling 7OH and she kept warning him. She's like, get that stuff off the shelves. A ton of money. And so she says, I went into him this week and was talking to him and I walked in, it's all gone off the shelf. And she goes, oh, so I heard that you know, thing. And he goes, yeah, I heard it's coming. And he goes, besides, I want to get it off the shelf. He says, I had a 55-year-old woman that would come in, terrible chronic pain. And he said, literally, she was spending hundreds a day,
Yeah.
hundreds. And he says, I was just horrified thinking, yes, maybe it was helping her pain, but she's spending hundreds a day. And he goes, that is not good. And he goes, I do not want to see sure, I want to make money, but I don't want to see my customers spending hundreds a day addicted to a substance. And so of course, he knows it's going to be federally illegal, but it's real. Like the amount of money that people are spending on this is crazy. And then the one last thing I'll say is I've seen this before. Sadly, there's a lot of pain patients that,
Yes.
have kind of now kratom has gotten, more and more familiar. And so they've heard, hey, kratom helps pain. So they walk into their smoke shop, not knowing where else they're going to buy it. And they say, hey, I have really bad knee pain or back pain. And the person goes, oh, here, I got it for you. Hands them a 7OH packet. And they're like, oh, and it says right on the packet, advanced kratom alkaloids. So they're believing they have kratom. So they go home and take it and it helps their pain. And they're like, wow, this stuff's great. And then lo and behold, 3 to 5 days later, they're fully dependent on it. So
Yeah.
it's, it's really sad because that is the travesty, in my opinion, with 7OH is there's so many victims that got pulled in by samples too. Free samples,
Yes.
they're giving them out everywhere. So they got sucked in by free samples, sucked in thinking that it was kratom that was treating their pain. And now they're dependent on this. And it's really sad.
It was chemical soup. That's what it is. Chemical
Yeah.
soup.
I just wanted to say congratulations. You go 700 a month. Thanks to Jordan, I've been off for 2 weeks with his guidance. I'm so
Oh
happy
my
that
gosh.
I
That's
can help you.
amazing.
A
That
lot
is
of people,
amazing.
a lot of people that come to me are spending between like 1,000. The most I've ever met was like 9,000 a month. And
Oh,
with like. And a lot of people say, oh, you only talk bad about 7OH because you're a natural leaf vendor. It's like, first off, 7OH has only expanded my business an incredible amount because I've helped so many people off of it. But if it was really about money, like people, like our average customer spends between $40 and $90 a month on pure leaf powder. That's the average. I'd say if you want to average it out to $55 per month. These people on 708 are spending literally like 1,000 minimum, but it's not my morals. I don't want to do this to like hurt people. I want to do this to help people, and all the people that were the people I've always respected within the industry stayed with the natural leaf. They stuck to their morals. They stuck to what they knew was right. All the people that I didn't like, besides one, all went to the 7OH side. all of them. Like there's a difference between like being in the industry because you're passionate or doing it solely because of money. And it's like the most ridiculous argument of all time. I'd be a multi freaking bajillionaire if I sold 7OH, but now I'm a multi hundredaire, you know? Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Somebody asked, it was a good question. What is a typical dose for kratom? So, we always say less is more. Less is more. And I think when you ever go into kratom, and this is if you're doing it for pain or addiction or helping to, harm reduction or anxiety, kratom is not going to take your symptom away. I just want to make that very, very clear.
It's going to
manage it. So if you go into this thinking, oh, I've got really bad back pain and I'm going to just keep taking kratom higher and higher and higher and higher to try to get rid of my back pain so I don't have any back pain, it's not going to happen, because you're going to get that, you're going to push your ceiling higher and higher and higher, and then it's just not going to be enough. And then so it's not how you go into this. I mean, again, like I told you earlier on my story, I'm a 3 or 4 at my good point. That's it. Have I ever pushed it? No, because I know they talk about the wobbles where you take too much and throw up. Never ever have done that ever, because I won't want to do it. So again, you want to stick with that lowest dose that you can possibly stick with. And so if you take, 2 grams and it's helping your back pain, till you're like, wow, this is allowing me to function, get around, do what I need to do, go to work, then stick with the 2-gram dose. Don't push that. I mean, and start low, really start low. I know people that have started with literally a fourth of a teaspoon, and they're like, that's all that I needed, fourth of a teaspoon. Then great. Don't go any higher. Stick with the fourth of a teaspoon. So you want to go that low dose and just stay there. And that's the other thing I just really bothers me. We had a person in Utah that talked about, I won't go to the product, but they were saying, it was an extract type shop product. And they were saying, oh, it was bad because within a week's period of time, I was having 10 a day. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Now who forced that extract down your throat or that shot down your throat? I didn't see anybody pouring that down your throat. That was the choice that you made. So you always know, I mean, with whatever you put into your body, and that with sourdough bread, you can eat a whole loaf of sourdough bread. And I'm telling you, you'll gain the weight. There's personal responsibility that has to be taken. And that includes Tylenol, for heaven's sakes. If you go and take, 8 Tylenol pills a day, you'll kill your liver. And so you've got to have that responsibility no matter what you put in your body.
I always think of kratom as like a tool. Like a hammer can build you a beautiful home, or you can hit yourself in the hand with it. I feel like the majority of people who use natural leaf kratom, they're able to improve their life. Is that every single person? No, because nothing in life is ever going to be 100%. But the vast majority of people who use kratom say it helped them get their life back. And then someone commented, now 7 which is illegal, cartels about to turn the fuck up because people are going to have to go back to Fetty. With all due respect, I 100% disagree. Kratom was helping people off of very hard substances before 7-hydroxy was even a thought. So I would agree with you 100% if natural leaf got banned and full spectrum extracts got banned, 1000%. But to act like 7OH is the only thing that can get people off of these substances is not living in reality whatsoever. Nothing against you, though. Sorry.
I like to say this, 7OH was already a black market. And what they did was they used kratom's namesake to push themselves in the limelight. Make as much money as fast as they can, and then they're going to dip out and go on to the next product, which is what we're seeing already. People don't realize that they were used as a human science experiment.
You will still have to withdraw from kratom. Dana, what percentage of natural leaf kratom users get physical dependency? There's been multiple studies on this, so you should know the answer. It was started by
here's
Big
a good
Pharma.
Question: Is kratom anything like an opiate? So basically, it does not attach. So like a typical oxycodone or hydrocodone will fully attach to those mu opioid receptors. That's what causes the respiratory depression, is when you have that full attachment and then you overload it and you'll get that overdose. But it basically tickles those receptors. So it doesn't fully attach to them, but it does interact with them. But so do other things. Like, honestly, I did not know this, but cheese does. That's why everybody loves cheese. But it actually, obviously it's not the same thing, but that's why it works, because it does tickle those opiate receptors. Another question I saw earlier is, does it affect serotonin and dopamine? Yes, that's what
Dr.
Jordan was
Mellon,
saying. It has 50 different alkaloids, this symphony of alkaloids. And that's what makes this plant so special, is that it does interact kind of with all of that in this great little symphony. And it really does. That's why it helps with mood. It helps with pain. It helps with anxiety. It's kind of a synergistic effect.
Mike Gustis.
David,
Hold on, Jordan.
sorry, okay. David,
They said
what's
kratom
the
is getting banned some places, but it's also protected in others like Massachusetts. Massachusetts, you are not
the worst.
safe. You are
Yeah.
not
Okay,
safe in
if you're in
Massachusetts.
If you're in Massachusetts, please, and you really want to fight to keep it legal, email me. Lora Romney, ROMNEY @gmail.com.
Yes.
Lora Romney @gmail.com. Because honestly, if you're in Massachusetts, you better be emailing me, because you guys are under attack. And in fact, every week I'm probably sending out 2 to 3 alerts per week, sometimes even more, of Massachusetts cities that are trying to ban.
Yeah, these two ladies right here have done more for kratom advocacy than almost anyone in the country. These two and Jen. I mean, there's multiple people, but on this live right now, there are so many places that would have banned kratom, but these two ladies stepped in the way. And David, what is the binding affinity of metrogene at the opioid receptor? If he says it attaches, is it a partial agonist, full agonist, and what's the binding affinity?
It doesn't even attach. It's like a dimmer switch. It lights it up like a dimmer switch. That's it. It doesn't attach.
You can tell they view point as pro kratom. Yes, I'm 100% pro kratom. If you're not pro kratom, you're a dum dum, and you lack all common sense. And you don't read studies. You don't care enough.
And you've never had untreated pain. That's what I say. I've heard it say, I know it's cliche, but everyone is one disease or one car accident away from chronic pain. And it sucks. It really sucks. It sucks worse than anything I've dealt with in my life. And it takes over everything. Your brain is constantly focused on it. It's awful. And you don't think that it's going to affect you like that, because everybody's had, I pulled my back out, or I've had this or that, or I've had a headache. Oh gosh, I had a really bad migraine. Well, yeah, your migraine goes away. But what if that migraine never goes away, and you go to the doctor and say, hey, I am in super pain, and they go through all the pharmaceuticals, nothing works. And they're like, sorry, you're done. You just.
Then they start doing the non-FDA approved injections.
Yep. Yeah. So
Mike Gustis,
it's rough.
I know the bill that you're talking about, but what's happening right now in Massachusetts is there's a grieving mom that's going to all of the Board of Health hearings or the meetings. They're trying to, once they get to a certain number of Board of Health hearings, then it can go to the state, and then they can go to the state and say, well, looky here. Like, because there's like 300 something Board of Healths in Massachusetts. And once she gets to like 150 something like that, that goes to the state, and then you can say, well, look, these 150 Board of Health view kratom as a public health emergency. We got to put a ban on it. It's all strategic.
I'm going to do a push. Yeah, I'm going to do a push for local, because I'm just telling you. Let me tell you. Years ago, I helped fight for medical cannabis here in Utah for years ago to try to bring it here. And I knew nothing. I'd never gone to a city council meeting. I'd never gone up to the Capitol. I'd never done any of this. And I learned that you could do it, and you can have a major, huge impact. And it's just not that hard. So anybody that's listening, I don't care which state you're in, email us if you really want to fight, because it's not hard. Like, we had a guy last night in California that got on a hearing. He lived in the area. He gets on the Zoom. We give you instructions. You get on there, and it's so effective because he lived in the city right next to the city that was going to try to ban. And he says, this is what it's done for me. The good news is literally, I tell people, you literally write out your testimony. You can get a 3-minute testimony. You can write it out. And do they think you're weird reading the testimony? No, because most people read their testimonies. So you don't feel like you're going to get all flustered because you're standing in front of these lawmakers and or on the Zoom, and you don't know what to say because, oh no, what do I do? Nope. If you can read a piece of paper, literally, if you can read a piece of paper, you can get on a hearing. And it makes such a huge impact. The other thing is people are scared. They're like, what if they ask me questions? They don't. I mean, I've seen 1 out of 100, they'll ask you a question. Most of
Yeah.
the time they just listen and, they move on to the next one. So again, we really do need more people's help in fighting these bans, because if you think that you can sit back and just let everybody else do it, it's not enough.
No.
Because
Yeah.
we see it every single time, and we've seen cities, say St. Joseph, Missouri, perfect
Yes.
example this week. We had two wonderful advocates that were very scared. They'd never been to one of these hearings before. They were very, very nervous. I explained to them right out their testimony. They were very scared. They showed up at the hearing and they testified. And guess what? They had an ordinance already drawn up that was a ban ordinance. And after the people that testified at that hearing, in the hearing, they voted right on the spot to strike that ordinance and carve out natural leaf kratom.
Yeah.
So I'm
Possession
telling you,
was
those two
included.
individuals, those two individuals helped save the entire city.
What a lot of people don't realize too, though, is they think, oh, kratom is only for people who had like, they love to say junkies, which is a stupid term, but like people with like substance use disorder. The number one demographic of kratom users in the United States are college educated women who use the plant for chronic pain. Well, I think you would fit into that category, right? One of you guys would,
Yeah,
right, or both?
I am. I have
Definitely.
a bachelor's degree. I'm an accountant by trade. So, yep, I'm 56 years old, grandma, 4 kids.
I'm just somebody
And
who
I'm even,
graduated high school early.
there you
It's
go.
okay.
There you go.
Yeah. They want to ask. Kelly wants to ask you a question, Laura.
Sure. Where is
Bring
it?
it, Kales.
Oh, yeah.
Where is she? Let's see if she can. Did she request up? Let's see. Oh, there she is. Okay, I'm inviting right now. Hi, Julie. Hope you're doing good.
I'll come up real
Hey
quick
there.
just so I don't have to type it all out. I don't know. I
Yeah.
tried to
Hi.
ask this question earlier. Hey guys, sorry. Hi. I don't want to take all your time. Do you think that metabolism affects, do you think when you take a kratom dose, you know how when some people do opioids, you can be a fast metabolizer or slow, and so they do it differently? It affects them differently. Like people that take trazodone, if you have the certain gene, some people it really messes up, some people it does nothing. Do you think that kratom might work that same way? Because I'm wondering why, like, some people claim to be like super addicted. I'm not saying it's not addicting. I can understand.
Sure.
I used to say no, but Jordan educated me more on that. But do you think maybe that's why? Because I feel like coming out of the addiction that I came out of, and it was bad, and I found it about 2 years into my recovery for pain. If it made me feel good, I would be consuming it, and it just never did that. But some people
Mm-hmm.
have a different experience. So I was just wondering, do you think metabolism, because I'm a slow metabolizer?
Could very well be.
Yeah, I think everybody's, well, I mean, this is a totally different example, but you've heard everybody out there saying that cannabis helps their pain and cannabis is great. And, if it's legal in your state, great. But I'm telling you, I was sure. I told you I fought hard to bring medical cannabis here to Utah. I tried medical cannabis and it did not help me. It actually made my anxiety go up really high, it made my heart rate go, and it made my face pain even worse. But yet I know people that have my same condition that will swear by it. So I think everyone's system is different. And so whether it's your metabolism or just how you're made up,
Just a bunch
everybody
of
kind of
different
has a
stuff,
different. So I
different
never, I
factors.
never say to anybody, it's going to work for you. I'm like, no. The good thing about it, I like about it is it's okay. If you know anybody that's taken like an SSRI or some of these others, they'll say, oh, well, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to build up in your system before you'll know, like you'll know really fast within a couple of days of kind of playing with your dose a little bit. You'll know if it's going to help or not. So that's my opinion. You talk about the different strains too. They've got like red and green and white strains. And I don't see much of a difference, but I'm kind of odd. I don't really notice any difference really between them. But some people swear that reds make them tired, whites make them hyper, and greens make them happy. But I don't necessarily see that. So again, I think it all depends on a person's metabolism, a person's just how they're made up. And honestly, I think it all depends. Some of it depends on what you've consumed in your life. I told you I had been on opioids, not for long, but I still think that probably made a difference in how my body reacted to kratom. Had I been a newbie that never had taken a single thing in my life, I could have probably had a very tiny, tiny dose of kratom and been fine. So you just have to kind of know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you answering that. I'm going to
Of
jump off so I don't
course.
take all your screen time.
Oh, no worries. And then, Michael, please send me a message. Sorry, I see a lot of these messages coming up. So I've been blessed to be in the industry for, pretty much 14 years. I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people over the years, and I've got to know a lot of their stories. So kratom is extremely subjective from person to person. You can give two people the same exact product from the same exact bag, and they have two totally different results. Let's just say like it's a green vein, for example. It could be the best fit for them ever, but the other person can get really sleepy. If you go online, it will say white is the best for energy, which is probably true for about 50% of people. But then the other half, I know, like uses them for like bedtimes, or it might not work whatsoever. A lot of people say red is best for pain. That again, it's marketing. Everyone is so subjective. Every single type of kratom can do whatever you want it to do, depending on your body type, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that only yellows work, only whites, only greens, only reds. Like a lot of the actual strain name, like say like red Bali, for example, these are all just like marketing terms. When I went to Indonesia, when we flew into Bali, there's not a single kratom tree on Bali. Kratom does not grow on Bali. It only comes from Borneo and Sulawesi. Those are the only two places. But within Borneo, it only comes from three regions: Jongkong, the Hulu Kapuas, Putusibu, and Ketapang. So sorry, four regions. Basically every strain in the United States is Borneo, which is also Indo strains. For example, like Malay, there's actually no real Malaysian kratom in the United States. Kratom was made illegal in Malaysia in 1952 due to the Poisons Control Act. A lot of people are like, oh, well, that's proof kratom's dangerous. Well, in 1952, the Malaysian people were still under British colonial rule, and Malaysia got its independence in 1957. So around 1952 is when they started to lose kind of control, only a few years out. So they started banning a lot of local customs and traditions, and kratom was just one of them. But also to the health minister of Malaysia just gave a conference last year of how they're starting the process to make kratom legal again in their country. So it was never the Malaysian people, it was the freaking British that made kratom illegal in Malaysia. Also, Thailand, 99% of all kratom in the United States is all from Indonesia. Like 1% is actually from Thailand. Thailand kratom, they don't have the infrastructure, so it's way, 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 way more expensive. This was a very long-winded way of just telling you that a lot of strains are just marketing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Very long-winded way of saying it.
Question.
Damn,
This
Brit.
would be one. Misty, after 1 week of kratom, would I get addicted or detox?
Only you can answer
Misty,
that.
I was going to say.
Only you can answer that.
Not of natural
Yep.
leaf, no.
Yep. I would say, here's an example. I've been taking it for like 9 years, and I had to do a surgery, and I did have to, because I told you my pain is very, very severe. I did have to switch over to opioids for, 5 or 6 days before I had the surgery, because I had to go clear, off of anything like the supplements. And I didn't have any withdrawals, zero. So, but again, everyone's different.
But then again, you took opioids, so you don't know.
I did. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. But I did not have. But again, I like I love your answer. You can't really say. But again, I just go back to this: do not push your dose. Do not push your dose. Get your, if you really need it. And I love what Jordan said. Don't take it if you don't need it. This is not something you just say, oh, I'm just gonna.
Oh, let
it's not like.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Lora.
Oh, hey.
I'm
No, you're
on it.
good. Hey.
Hi. How are you guys?
What's up, Jen?
It's that half a wild craft. I wasn't sure if I was going to get you or Dylan.
Dylan is very not tech savvy, so the only time he's on here is when he's with me. But she is on his way with the kids right now, so you probably will get to talk to him too. What are you guys talking about?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah, I mean, a week is not really long enough to get addicted to really anything. I wouldn't think. Like, if you think about drinking coffee for a week or
Unless it's 7OH.
Yeah,
potentially,
true.
yeah, I don't know how 7OH affects the system, but even like a week of opioids after surgery or something, like I've had surgeries where I did take painkillers way back when, and it was like they usually like to not go past 10 days or something, and then because then the risk of dependency goes up from there. But I think anything before that is pretty slim. Although on our bags, we do say, not recommended to take more than 3 days in a row unless,
Sure.
you have a reason to.
No, or you're just being safe with it.
Correct. Yeah. We used to say 5. I moved it down to 3. I don't really know. It's just, it's a safety measure where if you don't need it every day, I don't think you should take it every day, and I feel the same way about coffee. I feel the same way about a lot of things.
Oh, so
I
Medic says
have a
20 plus
question.
days is the number we go by.
20
So I have a
plus days.
question. So I have a
Of course.
question. I want to see what you are, because I'm sure you're getting this. So, because I see a lot of honestly scared people that are on 7OH and synthetics. What are you, as a vendor, or what are you telling people if someone really is on 7OH and they're having a hard time getting off, or MGM or whatever? What do you suggest that they do? What is your advice? Because I know you're getting probably people. I'm not that you're giving medical advice, but what do you what do you do? What do you tell them? Where do you guide them?
Are you talking to Jen or me?
You,
Oh, okay.
or Jen or
Typically,
whoever.
so I'll just go first. I'll make it quick. Yeah, first off, I'm not a doctor. I can't give any sort of medical advice. I'm just a
Right.
random dude on TikTok. That's helped a lot of people off 7OH. But basically, we start people off on a full spectrum extract. A lot of people get stuck on 7OH because like they're getting 7OH from a smoke shop and they're trying to get off of it by using kratom from a smoke shop. That's like trying to break down a brick wall with a rubber hammer. There's not enough alkaloids in there. Then you have some people who try to do the isolated just metrogenine. That's probably not going to work either. The full spectrum extracts are the best because it contains all the alkaloids of kratom, which can help with your serotonin, dopamine, your opioid receptors. We typically do that for like 2 to 10 days, depending on their body type. Then we switch to the normal leaf. I always tell people being on like a full spectrum extract is like 100 times better for you than being on 7-hydroxy, but being on the natural leaf is probably twice as better for you than being on the full spectrum extract. For the vast majority of people, you only think of a full spectrum extract as like a bridge between point A and point B. But there's some people that try to do it straight off with just the normal powder, which is possible, but I prefer the full spectrum extract route. That's the route that I see most people being successful with. There are some people that choose to stay on the extract for
You got a
long
scammer
term.
in here.
Oh, what is it?
Can I cover someone's rent?
It's rent.
Oh, yeah, no, we're good.
Block them.
Block. But basically, I used to be kind of anti-extract, but I feel like 7OH was so extreme that it kind of brought me more to the middle. And I feel like I understand them more than I used to, But again, it's very possible to use natural leaf kratom. And everyone's like, oh, you're just going to be stuck on kratom. I've helped thousands of people off of 7OH, but I've helped hundreds go from 7OH to natural kratom products to like nothing at all. But another option I was telling people was SR17, but that's no longer available, I don't think. But yes, sorry, but that's how we do it. What about you, Jen?
Yeah, so similar. I think we don't actually sell extracts or anything. But I do think people who struggle to start off with a full spectrum extract and then move down to powder basically as soon as they can tolerate it. Although actually I have a friend that I haven't seen in forever, and he posted a video yesterday, crying because he's so scared about the 7OH ban, but also says that he's ready. And he's a yogi. And the one thing I said to him, I was like, I know you know how to ground yourself. I was like, you need to get back into your practice and meditate more than you've ever meditated before, because so much of it is mental. I've heard so many people say that the physical withdrawals, yes, they're tough, but it's a big mental component. And I think one of the pieces that really are going to help really kind of move things along is when you get the mental part under control. And there's a lot of tools out there for people to do that. If we can get them through the physical part, then the mental is really the next stage of the game. And there's things to do with that. And if you're not a yogi and you don't meditate or whatever, you know, prayer, walks, if you're a golfer, whatever it is that you do to keep your mind in check, you do more of it.
There was a question from a goy.
A goy.
Well, the username is spelled different. About Lora, do you think that Utah is going to go try to fully ban it next year, pretty much?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can definitively tell you yes. Mikkel has already said that. And, this was actually, this was just what he was waiting for this cat's claw thing to happen, because it was just an excuse for him to do this. But if you listen to the American Kratom Association's webinar last night, which I suggest everybody to listen to, it's really, really good. It covers a lot of the whole nation and what's going on federally. But they said that they're going to be launching a full scale campaign to teach legislators the truth and to try to flip it back, because just so people on here know how crazy Utah is, I can walk down the street with my powder and my shaker bottle and drink it, no problems at all, but I can't order it. I can't order it. The other thing I could do is go down to a smoke shop. It's not even just a smoke shop. It's a specialized tobacco store. And there's only a very small handful of products that I can purchase. And usually they're not very caring very much. One person called me. There was only one bag of white capsules. That was all that was in the specialized tobacco store. So in a sense, it's shadow banned here in Utah. And so Mikkel did that. That was all of his. That was all him. And he's ravaging the whole country. And so he's coming for your state too. So yes, we are going to do that. If you are in Utah, please reach out to me. I'll put my email again, Lora, Lora, Romney, ROMNEY @gmail.com. Email me. We definitely need more people here in Utah to be able to fight this Mikkel battle, because it's going to be brutal, because he has the Department of Agriculture in his back pocket. He's got Kratom danger awareness on the other hand, and he probably has Andrew Kolodny on speed dial. So
I'm sure
we got a problem here, and it's going to be a big fight.
We're good here in Colorado, Rhiannon, 23. We're good,
but don't be complacent.
But don't be
because I used to think, oh, I'm so glad I'm in Utah. Utah's the KCPA king, and we do it right. We have product registration, everything's great, and then lo and behold, Mikkel enters the picture. So don't be complacent, no matter where you are. If you think you're safe, you're not safe.
Yeah.
Two-time gut fix. Oh, sorry, real quick. Two-time gut fix. What product were you taking, and how did it almost ruin your life? If you can kind of explain. But I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that was all.
Misty.
I was done.
I was gonna say, and Mikkel's got conflicts of interest going on, because he's an attorney. And he's got a client that's suing or will be suing one of the manufacturers or some crap, so he's got conflicts of interest going on.
100%. Someone's asking about Montana.
We don't have an update type yet.
There absolutely is a risk, though. Teton County is kind of toiling with it. So no, again, I want to tell you, everyone has got to be on alert. That's why you've got to be responsible and step it up.
Yeah,
and help,
we need
as in your state, we absolutely need you.
Yeah, Michigan, the ban failed. It failed. But I'm confused because didn't it fail?
No, so Michigan is a big risk right now too. So we had a senator who Cam Cavett, I think is what it is. He was the original sponsor of the KCPA. It's all great. And then lo and behold, and by the way, look on ChatGPT. This is the honest truth. No one knows what happened. I even did this the other day. He flipped. He flipped from a KCPA to a full ban. And from what I asked ChatGPT is kratom danger awareness involved? And literally ChatGPT said, there's no proof, but it absolutely looks like it.
Of
Because
course, one of the main players is in there.
Exactly. She was she was on the floor of the Senate during one of the hearings. So again, yes, Michigan absolutely is at risk. We are actually seeing some Michigan bans pop up. And so we need help on a local level in Michigan. So yes, definitely that is an area of risk.
But for the whole state, it failed, though. I remember Max saying that the whole state failed, but like from city to city is what you're saying.
Yeah. No, he's pushing for a full ban. This Cam Cavett.
Okay. He said it almost killed me. Can you please tell me the product that you were taking? Like, what is the name of the actual product, and how did it almost kill you?
I'd love to know.
Yeah, me too. Melting down, West Virginia. There's a lot of comments. Jeez.
We got a lot of people in this live stream.
Love
it.
Because of you guys. Because of you guys.
It's probably because of your background. 708 does not kratom.
Yeah, that pisses a lot of people off.
Well, because it ain't kratom.
Is the DA for sure banning 708? Yes.
Yes. When it's going to be announced any day now. Any day.
They said last night they're kind of thinking it'd be by the end of the week, which would be tomorrow. But we're not 100% sure. None of us, trust me, we all want to know. We all want to know.
GA full ban. Want to help my sister-in-law. Suboxone, a good idea. Suboxone's pretty ineffective for 7-hydroxy, but you can definitely try. I'm trying to be your moderator, Jordan. I'm trying. Maybe I should get moderators. That'd be cool. I never thought I was cool enough to get moderators.
Yeah, you can assign her as a moderator.
I don't know how to do that.
I think you click on her picture and then it might bring it up saying add as moderator.
That's cool.
No, it does. Wait, let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. You're a moderator now.
Kel's a mod too. You could add her.
Oh, I have a moderator. How cool is that? I made it, Mom.
You can add Kels.
Oh, yes, dude. Yeah, I'm freaking adding everyone right now. Seth.
That's funny.
How cool is that? Just use it in moderation. I'm just kidding. Kelly, you're a mod already? Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to answer a question about the Suboxone.
Thank you, Seth.
One thing I wanted to point out, just as a warning, okay? So, and I'm saying this as a chronic pain patient because I know the sucky things. And I know Claudia, if you follow Claudia Morandi, she would totally back this up. She's with Doctor Patient Forum. This is the problem. We are in the crux of an opioid crisis, where they have the entire government and Andrew Kolodny has demonized all of opioids. They basically said that you're an addict if you're taking them, and it's really bad. But
now he's
in a
moved
lot
on
of
to
places,
kratom.
Exactly, he's moved on to kratom. So a lot of these places are saying, you go into anywhere they won't give you pain medication. So here's the problem: they want to push everybody on Suboxone. That's the whole goal. Get everybody on Suboxone. That's the goal. And the problem is as a chronic pain patient, I just warn you, be very, very careful. If you're coming off of 7-OH and you are a pain patient, be careful, because if you do go in and get on Suboxone, that will be on your medical record.
Yep.
If you then go on Suboxone to get off of 7-OH and you say, I need to go back to the doctor, I'm still in severe pain, whatever the case may be, that's on your record, and it's going to show that you were on Suboxone, and they will basically say that you're an addict for the rest of your life. So it's really a tough. So you just need to make a smart choice. So don't feel. I don't want to scare anybody by saying don't go into Suboxone, but go in with your eyes wide open and ask questions before you just go, because again, ask about the physical side effects and realize long term what this could do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot. And I'd say 50, it's 50-50. 50% of people I talked to said that it worked getting off 708. The other 50% said it did absolutely nothing. I think out of the top, out of the three options, like the SR17, natural creatine leaf products, or Suboxone, I'd say the Suboxone has like the least effective rate. But there's some people who want to work directly one-on-one with the doctor, and again, that would be your best choice if you want to be under like medical care. But I met a lot of people who are successful with SR. Know a lot of people who are successful with natural creatine leaf products too. But do whatever you think is best. You know, only you can make that decision. Hold on one second. Government wants you on their dope. Love this live. Thank you for being my moderator.
But what's been helping most of my followers is, like we were talking about earlier, is they will use a full spectrum metragenine extract. They will use that for the first 3, 4, 5 days, and then they transition on to the powder, and then they taper off from there if they're just completely done with it all. You have to work backwards when you're on 708 or MGM or pseudo.
Hold on, sorry.
Agree with
Limitless.
Misty.
Okay. Through time, this is why I asked you the questions. You were not taking kratom, you were taking synthetics. Limitless does not produce kratom, even though they say kratom extract. These are synthetics. You're taking MGM 15, which is a fully synthetic. That's why I asked, like, what's the brand? Because I don't want to make it seem like I'm like saying you're lying or anything like that. But so natural kratom leaf cannot cause respiratory depression. 7-hydroxy can cause respiratory depression.
Oh, it's echoing.
Oh, what's up, dude? How are you? Can you hear me? Oh, he paused. He's a paramedic. He's super cool.
I know. I love him. He was on our live earlier, Nick.
Yeah. Can you taper from 708 and will kratom help me? I don't recommend tapering. It's not necessary. I've helped people jump from 3,000 milligrams before. I'm technically not supposed to say this because I think, I'm not supposed to say that. But you don't really need to taper. You just need to find, to start with a full spectrum extract and transition.
Yeah. Use the extract as the bridge.
It's easy to taper off of leaf. For a lot of people, it is. For some people, it's not easy to taper. I would say for most people, it is. But I have met a lot of people over the years that said it was difficult for them to taper. I actually got a message like that maybe 2 days ago. This person said, natural kratom leaf saved my life, but I'm having difficulty like lowering my dosage. And like when I don't take it, I don't feel good. And so I just try to give them like a plan that they could work with, because getting off of natural kratom leaf, I wouldn't say is difficult. It just, if you are physically dependent, it just takes like dedication. Like you have to do the same things, like you have to be consistent. But if you're consistent, then it's
You know what
simple.
the key that worked for me? So back in the beginning of my kratom journey, the highest I got was 5 teaspoons 5 times a day. And what I did was I subtracted 1 teaspoon every 3 to 4 days. And out of sight, out of mind. That's what worked for me. You can absolutely do it. The amount of time and effort it took you.
Misty, were you taking 5 teaspoons at one time or one?
Yes. 5 teaspoons at one time.
5. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. But you were able, see, that's the thing, is like even
a tablespoon and a half, which is a lot.
But even, but it's just, even at that, like that is a lot. That's probably like on the higher end, and you were still able to taper down super easy. Like it's all it takes is a little bit of willpower and a plan.
Exactly. And, because I caught myself running away with it. I was trying to find that high that I kept reading everybody talking about, and I never found it,
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
When you said
really helps.
When you say teaspoons, did you mean like measuring teaspoons, or are you just like doing a teaspoon?
Measuring teaspoons. I would do 5 teaspoons and put it in a cup of orange juice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when you're tapering, using a scale or like a device that you can measure out the exact same amount is really important, because they can vary a lot. So you have to be really precise. That it helps a lot when you come down.
Dylan's here, guys.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi.
Yeah, so I was even
kids screaming in the background.
I even kept like a tapering journal, And like I said, I was subtracting 1 teaspoon every 3 to 4 days. And then I finally got to 2 teaspoons twice a day. Then I kept forgetting my nighttime. I don't like saying dosage anymore, but I kept forgetting my nighttime dosage. I'm going to say it now. I don't like saying it. But so I scratched the nighttime off my list, and then I was at 2 teaspoons once a day for a while. And then I challenged myself further and went to 1 teaspoon once a day, and then I was at that for the longest time. And then I challenged myself further and started taking 1 to 4 days off every week. And this is coming from somebody who is heavily an addict. I was the up team. If addict had a picture in the dictionary, I was an addict.
Because it's great. Yeah, and that's, that's what I love about whole leaf kratom is it's very, it's not, it doesn't provide that thing that we're searching.
Yeah.
In like an addict type of personality. So it's just like when we realize it's not there, it's pretty, it still gives us, people who are in chronic pain or that need some sort of, I don't like saying mat therapy, but some sort of maintenance just to keep the mind kind of at bay and the glandular system at ease. But it's just, it's I don't know. It's just so good for so many people. And the fact that these people are coming after it is just so disingenuous and evil, honestly.
From this Misty to you, Misty, only you can answer that if that's a lot. I'm eating my ginger chews. Laura, you got me hooked on these ginger chews.
Oh, I told you.
Man.
Yeah, there's also going to be a class action lawsuit against Limitless for like false marketing to that one person. I knew it wasn't natural kratom. So
I want to answer this one. Go ahead. Sorry, finish up.
No, you go.
Does kratom interfere with regular prescription opiates? It is not, and I've heard this before, it is not an add-on. It is not an add-on. No. You do not take opioids and then say, ooh, I'm still hurting. Because I hear this. There are people that have gotten very big tolerance to opioids. And they're like, well, I think I'll just add on a little bit of kratom and see if that helps. No, don't do it. It's a replacement. So you need to go into it doing that. And honestly, the thing that's good about it is you can try it. Because remember, I told you I was on 2 opioids per day. Again, this is not medical advice. It's just what I did. So my pain is really bad in the morning. And then I usually have taken one later in the day. Well, right off the get-go, I took my opioid first thing in the morning. And then I didn't take any more the rest of the day. I only took kratom. And it was great. And then I dropped that second one quickly right after and then didn't have a problem. So again, it's not something like if you're saying, well, I have to completely come off of all of my opiates to try this. No, but do not, it's a replacement. Do not stack it. Absolutely do not, because you're messing with stuff. And so,
from my understanding,
that helps that person.
Yeah, from my understanding, the opiates and the kratom will be fighting each other in the opioid receptor.
Well, there's also an alkaloid in kratom called crinantidine that blocks the effects of opioids. Like a lot of people think kratom is an opioid just because they're really uneducated, but there is an alkaloid that actually diminishes the effects and blocks the effects of opioids. So it's either one or the other.
Right, correct.
I just wanted to talk to Cyanide. If she said she'd be able to taper if it wasn't for the lower back pain due to endo. It's the worst. I had severe endometriosis, and I have a really intense herbal protocol that I did for endo. And also, I don't know if you have babies, but it said that pregnancy can also put it in remission. But I have this really wonderful herbal protocol for endometriosis. It's really complicated, but
I found it in one of my books from the 1950s, I think. It was
I have all the recipes, so if you want to reach out, I can give that to you if you'd like.
I got on tianeptine. The guy told me it was kratom. Ooh, that's really bad. A lot of people, I'm sorry to hear that. A lot of people say, oh, kratom's gas station heroin. But if you Google gas station heroin, tianeptine comes up. And one of the largest producers of 7-hydroxy was very involved in tianeptine. They had a product called Neptune's something. Remember? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Something. Yeah.
I've heard that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was Vince's company. Crazy. What's going on with Limitless? My wife and I used that and we felt like something else was in there. So a lot of these companies are saying that they're selling extracts when in reality they're selling synthetics. An extract means that you are extracting it from the plant itself. A lot of these products are not extracts. They're synthetics, and they're just trying to get away with whatever they can and market it a different way. It's bad stuff. Bad stuff.
What is Phenibut?
Phenibut?
Phenibut, yeah. Somebody says
Something
everybody
created in
messed
Russia.
around with it.
Yeah, I tried it a long time ago. It's no bueno.
Yeah, I try to be kind of open-minded with most substances, only because, like, I feel like there's a lot of people who think kratom is so bad because of like what they heard in the media, and it's like, maybe there's another substance out there that I think is just bad because of what I've heard in the media. But I haven't found anyone yet. Like most have been pretty bad. I think kratom's like the only one. Yeah. I do have to get going, guys. I'm really sorry. But I appreciate
This has
everyone
been
coming on the
great.
live today. Yeah, let's do it again tomorrow. Wildcraft, guys, is a great company. They're amazing. They're awesome. Wildcraft, some of the best vendors in the industry. Very awesome products. My company's New Hope